Hey guys, I'm Nicole. In today's video, I'm sharing a productivity tip that will help you to reach your writing goals this year and tackle your writing projects. So I thought this was a great video to make because it's January when we're setting new resolutions, but it's also nearing the end of the month. And a lot of times we can lose our motivation to work towards those goals that we set at the beginning of the year. And maybe that's happening to you where you set a goal like, I'm going to write 2,000 words every single day, but now that goal is a bit intimidating and you're just finding that you are skipping it and you're not working towards those goals you had set for yourself. So if that sounds like you, this productivity tip is for you. And it's a really simple concept, and I believe I first came across it while reading James Clear's blog. And it might also be in his book, Atomic Habits, which is a really excellent book that I recommend about setting habits and goal setting and productivity. And this productivity tip is really simple, and it is make your goals easy enough that you can get them done without motivation. So the idea behind this tip is that our motivation ebbs and flows. And while you might have a lot of motivation at the beginning of the year or whenever you're starting a new writing project or whatever your goal is, you're inevitably going to arrive at a day when you just don't have the motivation and it's harder to get started on your project or to get your work done. And so the idea here is to make your goal so easy that you don't have to motivate yourself to get it done. So I have 3 questions that you can ask yourself to put this concept into practice and apply it to your own goals. The first question is, how can I make my goal easier? So what you're going to do with this first question is really evaluate the writing goals that you currently have. And then you're going to think about on a day-to-day level how you can make them more realistic. And you can also apply that to your main goal that you're working towards. Is it realistic? Can you make it easier for yourself? So the idea behind this first question is that you want to make your goal so easy each day that you don't need to have extra motivation to get it done. So for example, if you're setting a goal for yourself that you want to write 2,000 words every single day, there's inevitably going to be a day where you're just too busy or you're too tired or something happens where you can't reach that goal. But imagine if you made it easier and you said to yourself, okay, I'm going to set a goal where I'm going to write 100 words every day. Now, you wouldn't have to only write 100 words every day. If you wrote more than that, that would be fantastic. But basically on those days where you start to make an excuse of, oh, I don't have time to write, for example, you would say, wait, I only have to write 100 words. Of course I have time to write 100 words. And in that instance, you wouldn't be breaking your streak of writing every single day, but you would have gotten your daily word count done. Now, maybe you don't want to have 100 words, maybe 500 words is a reasonable goal to shoot for you. So you really have to think about what is realistic for you and what is an easy goal for yourself. And I just want to mention here that a lot of times when you come across writing advice online or in a book, the writer shares what works for them. But oftentimes you will have a different writing rhythm, so you might not be able to churn out 2,000 words every day. Maybe 500 words is a better pace for you. So you really have to evaluate your goals that you're setting for yourself and determine what's realistic and how can I make this really easy every day so that I'm not struggling to get it done and I'm not having to motivate myself every single day to get it done. And again, this is for a goal that you are struggling over. So if you're finding it really easy to get out 2,000 words, you don't have to change that. But if you have a goal you're struggling over, think about how could I make this be such an easy goal each day to shoot for that I'm going to get it done and not make excuses. The second question is to ask yourself, what's stopping you from achieving your goal? So for example, you're going to take a step back and you're going to think about what are the excuses that I'm making for why I am not working towards my daily word count today or not working on this writing project. And maybe that is that you decided to write in the evening and you're finding that you're really tired in the evening. So in that instance, we want to remove that obstacle. So maybe that means writing at a different time for you. And so really think about what are those excuses, what are those obstacles, and is there a way for me to remove them or tweak my goal so that I'm not thinking, oh, well, I'm really tired now, I'm not going to work towards my goal. So for example, you've probably noticed this year that I have changed where I'm recording my videos. And one of the reasons I did this was because I wanted to make more videos this year, but I was finding that in the previous room that I was shooting in, I would have to set up all of my lights and equipment, and it just added in extra time, and it wasn't an easy process. So I decided to switch to a different room where I'm able to leave up some of my equipment, and that just makes the video making process a little bit easier. Of course, there's still other things that do require motivation, but just by eliminating some of those extra steps, I don't need to really plan out as much as I was before. So think about that when it comes to your goals. And maybe you can't eliminate all of the obstacles and all of those excuses, but if you can eliminate some of them, that will mean that it will be much easier to achieve your goal. And the third and final question to ask yourself is, what is the easiest part of this project you're working on or this goal you're working towards? And I find that this question is really helpful when I am beginning a project, because sometimes a project can be really overwhelming and you keep on putting it off and putting it off because you don't want to work on it because it just seems so intimidating. Or it could be that you have been working on a project. For example, you're working on a novel, but then you get to a point in that novel where you just don't know how to move forward. And with this question, you're going to think about, is there a part of the project that you can work on that's easier and you're excited to work on so you can kind of renew your motivation and your energy and your excitement that you had before? So for example, maybe you decide that this scene in your novel is giving you trouble and you can go and write a different scene that you have a lot of ideas for. Or another example is that a lot of times when I'm writing a blog post, I might run into trouble with the introduction. And so instead of sitting there for an hour trying to figure out how to write this introduction, I might say, you know what, I'm going to work on the conclusion or the body of the blog post or the headline. And by doing that and really enjoying that process, then I have ideas for how I can go back and work on the introduction. So keep this question in mind as well when you are struggling to work towards a goal. Think about what is an easier part that I could be working on or a part that I'm actually excited to do. So maybe that's research, maybe that's a scene, it could be anything, depending on what project you are working on. So I hope that these 3 questions and this productivity tip helps you with your goals. And again, just to summarize, it's to make your daily goal, or whenever you're going to be working towards your goal, to make that so easy that you don't have excuses where you have to say oh, I'm not motivated to do this, or I don't have time. And what I find is when I get started, so maybe I set a goal for myself, I'm only going to write 100 words, and I don't have time to write more, but then when I sit down at my desk and I begin writing those 100 words, I'm soon writing way more than that. So you don't have to stop at 100 words. That's just so that you get yourself going. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment letting me know what your writing goals are for this year. And if you have another productivity tip to share, I'd love to hear from you. And also subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic week. God bless, and I wish you all the best with your writing projects.